ओम शांति। यह बाबा की सेवा के लिए नया चैनल चालू किया है। इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें। ओम शांति।
Om Shanti, Morning Murli, 6th April. Sweet letter of Bab Dada for sweet children. Essence, sweet children. In order to prove that the deep things of knowledge are correct, have a broad and unlimited intellect, and explain very tactfully. Sweet children, in order to prove that the deep things of knowledge are correct, have a broad and unlimited intellect, and explain very tactfully, it is said, kill the snake, but don't break the stick. Question: what main virtue is needed to pass at the time of the crisis of distress? What main virtue is needed to pass at the time of the crisis of distress? Answer: that of patience. That of patience. Only at the time of war will you be revealed. Only those who are strong will be able to pass. Those who are afraid will fail. At the end, you children will have an influence, and people will then say, "Oh God, your divine games are wonderful." At the end, you children will have an influence, and people will then say, "Oh God, your divine games are wonderful." Everyone will come to know that God has come in an incognito form. God has come in an incognito form. Second question: what is the greatest fortune? What is the greatest fortune? Answer: to go to heaven is the greatest fortune. Only you children experience the happiness of heaven. There would not be sorrow from the beginning through the middle to the end. These things sit with great difficulty in people's intellects. So, the birds of the new age. Om Shanti, God speaks. Previously, it would have been said, God Krishna speaks. You children now have the faith that these are not the versions of God Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is not Trikaldarshi or a spinner of the discus of self-realization. If devotees were to hear this, they would get upset. They would ask, why do you reduce our faith in them? Because they have the faith that Krishna is the spinner of the discus of self-realization. The discus of self-realization is always portrayed with Vishnu or Krishna. People of the world don't know what the relationship between Shri Krishna and Vishnu is. Because of not knowing this, they simply speak of Vishnu or Krishna as the spinner of the discus of self-realization. No one even knows the meaning of the discus of self-realization. They have just portrayed them with a discus for killing. They have shown it as a violent weapon. In fact, they neither have a violent discus nor the non-violent discus. Radhe and Krishna and Vishnu don't have knowledge. Which knowledge? That of the spinning of the word cycle. Only you have this knowledge. These are very deep matters. How can you explain to them tactfully? So that they can understand, and also so that their love remains constant. Baba is asking, how can you explain to them tactfully so that they can understand, and also so that their love remains constant? If you explain them in a direct manner, they would get upset with you and say that you defame the deities. They are all the same apart from you. Brahmans, they are all the same apart from you. Brahmans, you are such young daughters. Baba says, you young daughters should be made so clever that you are able to explain at the exhibitions. Those who have knowledge will offer themselves to explain at the exhibitions. Brahman teachers should have very broad and unlimited intellects. Brahman teachers should have very broad and unlimited intellects. Serviceable children should be sent to explain to at exhibitions. There should not be any interest in just seeing everything. First of all, you need to have the faith that the God of the Gita is the incorporeal Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, Shiva. Shri Krishna cannot be called God. This is why the Gita is wrong. This is also something completely new for the world. Everyone in the world says that Krishna spoke the Gita. Here it is explained to you that Krishna cannot speak the Gita. The one who has the peacock feather crown, those of the double crowned Sun dynasty, those of the single crowned Moon dynasty. Those of the merchant and Shudra clans, none of them knows the knowledge of the Gita. Only the God of the Gita gave that knowledge and made Bharat into heaven. So from where in the world can the true knowledge of the Gita come? All of that is in the line of devotion. What has been the result of them reading the Vedas and scriptures? People have continued to fall and their degrees have continued to decrease. No matter how much deep tapasya they do, even if they were to cut off their heads, there cannot be any benefit. Every human being definitely has to become tamopradhan. In that too, the people of Bharat, especially who belong to the Deity religion, have fallen the most. At first, they were the most satopradhan and they have now become the most tamopradhan. Those who were the masters of the highest paradise have now become the masters of hell. Let it remain in the intellects of you children that our bodies are old shoes. That our bodies are old shoes through which we are studying. Those of the Deity religion have the oldest shoes. Those of the Deity religion have the oldest shoes, means bodies. Bharat was the temple of Shiva. It used to be the kingdom of deities and there used to be palaces studded with diamond and jewels. Whereas it is now a brothel, a kingdom of vicious devils. According to the drama, it has to become the temple of Shiva from the brothel. The father explains the people of Bharat have fallen the most. For half the cycle you were vicious. Sinful souls like Ajamils also existed in Bharat. The greatest sin is to indulge in vice. Deities who were completely viceless and beautiful have now become ugly. The one who was the highest has become the lowest. The father says, when they have become completely tamopradhan, I come and make them completely satopradhan. No one now can be called completely viceless. There is a hug difference. Even if this birth is a quite good, the next birth would be like that of Ajamil. The father says, I enter the impure world and come into an impure body of the one who has become tamopradhan by having taken the full 84 births. He took birth in a good home at this time because he had to become Baba's chariot. The drama has been created systematically And this is why God has chosen an ordinary chariot. This too is something to be understood. Have a lot of interest in serving. Baba is saying, having a lot of interest in serving. Look how much interest Baba has. The Father is the purifier. He is everyone's eternal surgeon. Look how He gives you such good medicine. He is everyone's eternal surgeon. Look how He gives you such good medicine. He says, by remembering me, you will never become diseased. You would not need to have any medicine, etc. This is Shrimat, not a mantra from a guru, etc. The Father says, by remembering me, your sins will be absolved. Then there would not be any obstacles of Maya. You will be called brave warriors. In a school, the results are given at the end. Here, too, you will know everything at the end. When the war begins, you will be revealed. People will also see how fearless you have become. The Father too is fearless, no matter how many cries of distress there are. Explain with patience that we all have to return home. Baba is saying, explain with patience that we all have to return home. Come and we will go to our destination. Which destination? To Mount Abu, to Baba. Don't be afraid. When you are afraid, you fail. You have to become that strong. The first calamity will be famine. They would not be able to import food. There will be a lot of violence. At that time, you will have to become very fearless. In a battle, people become very strong. They simply say, kill or be killed. They are not even afraid for their own lives. Although they don't have the knowledge that they will shed their bodies and take other ones, they still want to do service. Those people teach soldiers to say, victory to Guru Nanak. Victory to Guru Nanak, victory to Hanuman. Your teachings are, remember Shiv Baba. You have to do that job, that is, you have to serve your country. Although there are many devotees of Shiva, no one else remembers Shiv Baba in the same way as you do. However, you are given the directions. Remember Shiv Baba. You have to return home and then go to heaven. Both the sun and moon dynasty kingdoms are being established. Everyone will receive this knowledge. Those who are worthy of becoming subjects will only understand that much. Your influence will spread a lot. Only then will they say, oh God, your divine games. They will come to know that God has come in an incognito form. Some ask to have a vision of a soul or the Supreme Soul, but there is no benefit in having visions. For instance, if they simply see a light, they would not be understand anything about whose soul that is or whether it is the Supreme Soul. There is some splendor in their visions of deities. They experience happiness. Here they don't even know what the form of the Supreme Soul is. The closer you come to the end, the more Baba will open the locks on people's intellect. To go to heaven is also great fortune. No one else can experience the happiness of heaven. As are the kings and queens of heaven, so are their subjects. They have now named the city New Delhi, but when was there New Bharat? This is old Bharat. There was just the deity religion in New Bharat. There were very few people. Now there are so many of them. There is a difference of the day and night. You can also explain in the newspapers. You speak of New Delhi and New Bharat, but New Delhi and New Bharat will only exist in the new world. New Delhi and New Bharat will only exist in the new world. That will be paradise. So, how can you create that here? Here there are so many religions, whereas there will only be one religion. There will only be one religion. All of these matters have to be understood. All of us have come here from the incorporeal world. All of us souls are points of light like stars. Just as none of the stars in the sky fall, similarly we souls stay in the great element of light. You children now know that souls cannot speak in the land of nirvana. Because you don't have bodies there, you can say we souls are residents of the supreme abode. This is something new. In the scriptures, they have written that each soul is a bubble and will merge into the ocean. But all of you know that the purifier Father has come to take everyone back home. Bharat becomes heaven after only 5,000 years. No one has this knowledge in his or her intellect. The Father alone comes and explains, we are the ones who claim the kingdom and then we are the ones who lose it. It has no end. It has no end. No one can be liberated from this drama. These are such simple matters, but they don't stay in anyone's intellect. The soul is now aware of his cycle of 84 births through which he becomes an emperor or empress who rules the globe. All of this is going to end. Destruction is just ahead of you. So why should you have the greed to accumulate more wealth? Serviceable children are sustained by the yajna. Serviceable children are sustained by the yajna. If you don't do service, you would not receive a high status. You can ask Baba, Baba, am I doing enough service to claim a high status? Baba would say, the visible signs are such that you will become part of the subjects. All of this will be known here. Even young children should be taught and made so clever that they are able to serve at the exhibitions and reveal everything. Even young children should be taught and made so clever that they are able to serve at exhibitions and reveal everything. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and we spiritual children says Namaste, good morning to our sweetest spiritual father. Essence for dharana: first, become as fearless as the Father. Do everything with patience and don't be afraid. Second, destruction is just ahead. Therefore, don't have the greed to accumulate a lot of wealth. In order to claim a high status, do God's service and accumulate an income. In order to claim a high status, do God's service and accumulate an income. Today's blessing: feel Baba's hand on your head. Take blessing. May you be a carefree emperor and stay in spiritual intoxication by accumulating all treasures. May you be a carefree emperor and stay in spiritual intoxication by accumulating all treasures. All of you children have received limitless treasures from Bap Dada. However, many treasures each one of you has accumulated, that much spiritual intoxication is visible on your face and in your activities, and that spiritual intoxication of accumulating is experienced. The more spiritual intoxication you have, the more the sparkle of being a carefree emperor is visible in your every action. Because where there is intoxication, there cannot be any worry. Baba is saying, where there is intoxication, there cannot be any worry. Those who are such carefree emperors are always happy hearted. Those who are such carefree emperors are always happy hearted. Slogan: A Jnani soul is one who, along with the knowing the dance of knowledge, and also knows the dance of harmonizing sanskar. A Jnani soul is one who, along with the knowing the dance of knowledge, also knows the dance of harmonizing sanskars. Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba.